Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to the show. So I find myself in a bit of a dilemma. I've only got 3 watches in the collection at the moment. I've got the Datejust wristwatch check, I've got the Speedmaster, and I've got my Cartel watch that I was sent the other day. I've sold a couple, I've got a couple in for service, and it's proper threadbare, the collection. So I'm like, oh, what am I going to talk about? So 10 things that make you a watch addict. If you're probably 4 or 5 of these things, you probably need to think about getting some help in a different hobby. Right, let's start the show. Right, so nice easy one. Number 10. These are not in any order particularly, but if you've got some of these problems, do seek out help. There is medical attention you can have. I need a lot of help. So number 10 is you've got a dedicated Instagram watch account. Now this is a pretty obvious one, and the reason I started doing this because I was posting my watches on my own personal account, and they started a few Omegas, a few Breitlings, and actually start to and feel like a bit of a flash kit, and you think, it just looks like you're showing off your wealth or something like that. So I swapped it out to my Instagram account, and that's why I did it, just to stop it from being on my personal account and looking like a bit of a douchebag, really. So yeah, that's the main reason for it. So if you've got an account, yeah, I'll give you that. That's all right. Is that one? What's number 9? These two here. Boys' toys galore. If you have a lume torch or a magnifying glass, I mean, I'll give you that. The lume torch is the ultimate in boys' toys. It's just a weird one though. Why do you need it? Car enthusiasts don't go during the day, oh, I'm going to put the car in the garage so I can see the lights during the day. It's just weird, isn't it? But this is one of the best toys I've ever bought. £7 off Amazon. Fire your watch up and just go, wow, look at that. It's proper sad. And a magnifying glass. Why do you need to look at? Not enough just to look at your watch. You need to really look at your watch. It's stupid, isn't it? Absolutely stupid. Now, this is one that I have done. Number 8 is sleep in your watch.
Andrew.
Can you sleep on the sofa again tonight, please, babe?
Again?
A bit strange, to be honest, I would say, sleeping in your watch. And there's absolutely no way that looking at your watch half asleep when you wake up in the middle of the night is easier than looking at your phone. So I would say it's just an addiction problem that you would sleep in your watch. I've done it loads of times in the past. It's not particularly comfy. I just do it because I want that connection to the watch, where in reality, you don't need it. Just put it on the side. Get yourself a little space band that holds your watch or something like that. Keep it on the side and check your phone because it's a hell of a lot easier. I've tried checking the lume and you're like that with one eye. You bloody like that. You don't know what's going on, do you? So sleeping in your watch, not for me anymore. If you do it, you need help. Workington watches. Number 7, posh words these for me. You theorise on collection ideals. People in the real world don't give a crap. They probably have 2 or 3 watches and they're just watches. But us watch geeks, we're like, oh, well, I need a dive watch, I need a chronograph, I need a Swiss watch, I need a Japanese watch, I need an explorer type watch, I need a field watch, I need an aviation watch. No, you don't. These are just titles that watch companies give their watch. A pilot's watch isn't really a pilot's watch. It might have been in the past, that's how it was first invented, but ultimately, they're just watches. So people in the real world don't care. They don't have watch collections diverse by different things. They might happen to have 2 divers because they're like bezels. It's just a bizarre thing, and I'm really guilty of it. I'm like, oh, well, I've got this dress watch here, so I've got a chronograph, right? Well, I ain't got a Japanese watch, I ain't got this. It just drives me insane, actually. But yeah, if you theorise on watch collections, again, you need help. What else have we got here? Big one. Everyone does this. Everyone's guilty of it. And again, people in the real world don't do it. When you match your watch to your outfit. And look at me, I've done it today. I've got a blue watch on with a blue shirt because it works. Now look at me. Look me in the eyes and ask yourself this. In people in the real world, have they ever looked at someone in a pub somewhere and gone, look at that dickhead. He's got a white dive on, he's wearing a black shirt. Nobody does it, do they? No one's ever looked at someone and gone, oh my God, his watch don't match his outfit. Unless it's like an luminous green one with a suit or something. No one's going to even bat an eyelid. So yeah, matching outfits with watches. I think we're all guilty of it, and I do it all the time. I'm really bad for it, but ultimately, no one gives a crap. No one has ever noticed and gone, "What are you doing, mate? You look ridiculous." It doesn't happen. So again, that's a really big one for me. Again, another one, number 5. You change your watch throughout the day. I am horrendous for this. So I'm really bad for this. So I'll wear one in the morning. I'll wear one for breakfast. I'll go to work in one. Then I'll come home, might wear one in the evening. Or I've got to do the garden or go for a jog, so I'll wear another one. That's 4 or 5 right there. It's just a really crazy thing. So I'm really conscious of this now, and I try and wear one during the day and try and wear one during the evening. And I think that's more than enough. You don't need to change anymore. So in theory, a work watch and a nighttime, afternoon watch, or whatever you want to do. So yeah, if you change your watch more than once in a day, you need help. What have we got? Number 4. You have more than 3 watches. Now you might think, no, you're not a watch addict if you've got more than 3 watches, but you are. Nobody needs 3 watches. More than 3 watches. Honestly, I think you need a work watch, a weekend stroke evening watch, and then a tool watch. And when I say tool watch, a watch that maybe a beta watch you want to call it, a watch that you can go for a walk, do the garden, not bothered if it gets scraped, dig a hole. I don't know what you want to do. Just a watch that you can rough and tumble in. So people will say, "Oh, you need a dress watch." You don't. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People aren't allowed out of the house. So, and even before, your work watch could be your dress watch. I don't know. I don't need dress watches in my life. So yeah, if you've got more than 3 watches, you, sir, possibly 0.1% women as well watching, are a watch addict. What else we got? I'm really bad for this. So, for example, you take extra watches with you where you go. Last year, we went to a wedding. We're only staying one night. I took 3 watches and extra straps to change into as well. What was I thinking? So I probably travelled in one watch to get there, wore another watch in the evening, wore another watch when I got up, and then I changed the strap on one to travel home as well. What an idiot. I have like my suitcase for my clothes and then my suitcase for my watches. And again, I spend too much time thinking about what watches I'm taking with me. So again, if you take more than one watch with you, I do it as well. If we're going for a walk around the park, I might take a watch that I'm wearing, watch in the pocket, just to get a few watch shots. It's proper sad, and my wife actually complains that I take more pictures of my watches, than I do of the kids, and she's true. It's right, is that right? Oh, down to the last 2. I will say number 1 is probably the number 1 spot for a watch addict being a watch problem. Number 2 is you pick faults and you know the stats of the watches. Now, most people will wear a watch and they'll maybe say, "Yeah, it's probably a bit big or it's a bit small for me, but I'll live with it. I'll get on with it." We'll be like, "Oh, it's 42. It's too big for my wrist. What's your wrist size?" Who measures their wrist? It's such a creepy, weird thing when people ask you as well, "What's your wrist size?" Get a bit offended. So I have done it a few times recently. So yeah, the dimensions of a watch, yeah, if you're a full-on watch geek, you'll know the technical capabilities, blah blah blah. But if you know the lug width, the lug to lug, the thickness, and these are things that you think about on a regular basis on a watch, then you're probably too in-depth with watches and you need help. Most normal people will buy a watch and go, "Yeah, that'll do," and then they'll just wear it for the rest of their life and get on with their real hobbies or something worth a bit of value. So yeah, if you know too much about it, or like me with the Tudor Black Bay Red, I critiqued it, I complained, and it was on too much on me psyche and my focus, and it annoyed me, so I got rid of it. Most people will just wear the Tudor Black Bay Red, think this is a freaking great watch, and that's it. I'm going to go play golf or something. So yeah, again, that's a really big one. If you pick faults and you know too much about your watch, you probably are a watch addict. Number 1, I must have done this 100 times. So you've just bought a watch. If it's an expensive watch, I always do the reverse. So you've just bought a watch and it's Saturday afternoon, you've just picked it up in the morning, you sat down with a beer on Saturday evening. What do? You open the laptop.
Andrew, you haven't seen the kids all day because you've been watch shopping.
I'm a bit busy at the moment, babe. Tell them I'll see you in a bit, alright? Tomorrow or next week or something. You start looking online at more watches. I've done it hundreds of times. If I bought an expensive watch, I'll start thinking, well, I can't afford another expensive watch, so I'll start looking at lower end stuff. Oh, maybe I'll get a Casio G-Shock or a lower end C-Code, you know, just to keep the watch habit feeding. And that is a truly addictive, massive problem. And I am guilty of that big time. And if I've bought maybe a cheap watch, you know, even if it's a £10 Casio or whatever, I start looking at other watches that I can buy immediately after, and I'm terrible, terrible, terrible for it. And if you do that, then you, sir, are a watch addict. And out of these 10, I'll try and put a list here now. How many of you? Count them up very quickly. I've said all them because I have done all them, or I am doing all them. So yeah, I do need a lot of help. So hopefully I'll have a couple more watches in for review. I'm actually waiting for a phone call off Christopher Ward. I'm going to buy one of their watches. Get in there. Right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for enjoying. Take care. Over and out. And I'll see you in the next one.